Alright, guys. So our project focuses on the Tower of Silence, which is derived from the religion of Zoroastrian. Shout out to Aden Marines from his nice class for this group collaboration.
Yo. The Tower of Silence is a Zoroastrian tradition which includes vultures as part of its burial ritual. You can probably guess what the vultures do. The corpse is raised into the sky for vultures to devour, of course. Bull's urine and tools that were later destroyed were used to clean the body before it is placed atop a Tower of Silence. It's called the Tower of Silence because, well, they're dead and dead people don't talk. Once devoured by the vultures, the remains slash bones are dropped into a corpse pit, which contains the decay that the corpse would exude.
All right. So the culture that the Towers of Silence stem from is the Zoroastrian. All right, that religion dating back to around 4000 BCE. In that religion, they believed that the exposure of dead bodies would decay and contaminate all the elements around that body, such as the nature, trees, humans, and etc. Due to that belief, they disposed the bodies in the towers of silence, where the body is cleaned before being eaten by vultures that would dispose of all the flesh, leaving only bones behind. That allows the corpse to be taken care of before it can contaminate the environment.
Ah, you know what time it is. So here's some of the art of what the Tower of Silence looks like. To the bottom right, you can see the giant Buddha Jedi stew pot, which is not the exact scientific name of the Tower of Silence, but it describes what it's like. The bodies are atop the tower, laid there to decay and have the vultures feast. Over time, the bodies are gonna decay, and then what's left are the bones, which you can see on the left, the corpse pit, and that's just all the bones being sucked up. And then there's some very accurately depicted pictures of vultures, as you can see on the left, where it's uh, kind of scary looking.
So, the Tower of Silence reminds us of the inevitability of death and the fact that everyone would eventually have to have their corpse cleansed, as death is considered unclean. The tradition teaches us that death is the end and that we became a contaminated version of ourselves. So, it pretty much sums up to that our physical bodies gets contaminated when we die. And so to avoid that source of evil to spread, that deceased body needs to be cleansed in the Tower of Silence. And the process is surprisingly very environmentally friendly.
All right, so here, you want some interesting facts? We got some interesting facts. Some towers still remain today in Iran and India, where they're mostly viewed as sacred structures. And back then, when it was still being practiced, it's still minorly practiced today. Only the Canadia's keepers were permitted to enter the tower. Also, vultures are rarer nowadays due to poisoning as livestock were drugged. People have resorted to using solar concentration to accelerate the body's decomposition. The, Con- the Canadias live their lives as outcasts and are not permitted to be in the public as they work mainly with the dirty bodies. The central pit, which is filled with bones and corpses, is cleaned once a year to make space for new corpses.
Bird up.
Alright.
All right, that is the end of our.
That's
Thanks
about it.
for coming and listening.